Hi, we are going to show you a parody of the film The Great Gatsby. It is a mixture of romanticism and drama. It is about a lost love between an ex-old soldier and a millionaire woman. Till its last consequences. We hope you enjoy this. Come on.
My name is Nick Carraway. I graduated in 1915, then went to fight in the Great War. In 1922, I went to New York. I had planned to stay in the East for several years, but I was there for only one summer. I arrived in spring. I found a little house about 20 miles from New York, near the village of West Egg. My house was on Long Island, near the sea. It stood between two enormous houses that had been built for millionaires. The house on the right was Gatsby's house, and this is Gatsby's story, but of course I didn't know Gatsby's then. One evening the phone rang. It was my cousin Daisy.
Hello, Nick. Do you know we are neighbors? Do come to dinner, Nick. I love to see you.
She had married Tom Buchanan, a man who was very rich. After the war, they had traveled around America and Europe.
Well, this is my house. Here you have the stairs, the kitchen, and here are the birds. Oh, yeah, really good stairs.
Hello. I'm so very happy to see you again.
Hi.
She is my best friend,
Nice
Mrs.
to
Jordan
meet you.
Baker. Me too. Do you live at West Egg, don't you?
Yes, on the other side of the bay.
I know somebody there. You must know Gatsby.
So, Nick,
Gatsby.
why did you decide to come to New York?
Because I wanted to start a new business in Wall Street.
Excuse me.
Tom got another woman in New York. I thought everyone knew, but she shouldn't phone him at home, should she?
Hi. How are you? Very nice. How are you? Fine. When are you going to send me a car? Next week. My driver is working on it.
Hi,
Hi. Hi.
why don't you get some chairs, George, so everyone can sit down?
Okay. I want to see you. Get to the next class and meet you in New York.
Alright.
Bye. Hi. How are you?
Hi. Fine.
Hi.
Sorry, but I have to go.
No. You must stay. I called my sister Catherine for you. She's nice.
Well, alright.
Come here.
My neighbor, Mr. Gatsby, gave parties all through the summer. Nearly every night, his house and gardens were full of music. One day, I was invited to one of Gatsby's parties, so I knew him there. He talked with Mrs. Baker, and the next day, I met her in a tea. Then she told me everything.
Gatsby and Daisy were in love 5 years ago, but when he had to go to the war, and as he didn't come back, Daisy married Tom. And he wanted to invite her to a tea in your house, and he will be there too.
That afternoon, Gatsby decorated my house with a lot of flowers for Daisy. He was very nervous and anxious. When we were waiting, Gatsby told me his story. He was rich because he had saved a millionaire from a storm in the sea. This man took care of him and brought him up as a way of gratitude. When the man died, all the heritage was for his family and nothing for Gatsby, so he managed to rise his position and started illegal traffic.
Why did I have to come alone? Are you in love with me, Nick? I'm sorry,
I decided to leave them alone for half an hour. They seemed not to hear me. After that, we went to Gatsby's house and Daisy admired all the wealthy things. They had a great time. That afternoon was the first of several meetings between Gatsby and Daisy.
Our love runs deep like a Chevy. If you fall, I'll fall with you, baby. 'Cause that's the way we like to do it. That's the way we like. You run around, open doors like a gentleman. Tell me, girl, every day of my everything. 'Cause that's the way you like to do it.
Gatsby closed his house for the people who went to his parties and fired all of his servants. The last party was the first that Daisy went to. One day, I drove over the Butcher's house with Gatsby in his big car. Daisy, Tom, and Jordan were there. We decided to travel to New York, but Tom and Gatsby changed cars. When we arrived, we went to the hotel to have a drink, and Gatsby wanted Daisy to tell them that she loved him and she never loved another man.
I can say I never loved Tom. It wouldn't be true.
When Daisy said that, Gatsby was surprised and Tom caused Gatsby to shout and get excited. Daisy was very sad with Gatsby's attitude and she wanted to go out.
You go home, Daisy. If Mr. Gatsby, kiss her.
And slowly, sadly, Daisy and Gatsby had gone. When I arrived at the Butcher's house, I saw Gatsby under the trees and he told me that Daisy had run over one woman with his car and they ran away.
Don't cry to me. If you loved me, you would be here with me. You want me, come find me, make up your mind.
That night, I heard Tom and Daisy plans. They will run away to another country, but I didn't tell this to Jay. The day after that, in all the newspapers appeared a story about a woman who had died. She was Myrtle, Tom's secret lover, but they said that it was Gatsby's fault. Gatsby waited all the day for Daisy's call.
Suppose Daisy will phone on sport.
Yeah, I suppose so, but don't worry, Gatsby, they are not good. You are better than all of them.
Thank you, sport.
Well, I have to go. It was the only compliment I ever paid Gatsby, but I've always been glad I said it. I was at work when I received a phone call. Gatsby was dead. Wilson shot him when he was in the swimming pool, and that moment was when I called him, but he died, thinking that the call was from Daisy. I was the only person in the funeral. Nobody could thank all that Gatsby had given them. I know Gatsby was a very good man. I knew the truth, but I could never tell it. And that is the end of Gatsby's story. The title of the story was Gatsby. No, it was better. The Great Gatsby. And I know that it's true.